Hey everyone, and welcome back to the Basic Dude podcast. Day of this recording is Father's Day, so I'd like to say Happy Father's Day to all of my fellow dads out there. I don't really have a topic for today. I guess there's some things that are rattling around in my head, and kind of need to get them off my chest. And maybe I'm divulging a little too much into my private life, but which I try to keep separated just for privacy reasons and so many people involved in my life that they, I don't want to speak and I guess put their business or their name or anything like that out there without their permission. So try to keep things private and vague and, things of that nature. But anyway, I'd like to thank everybody over at on TikTok. I have been doing, if you've been looking at my TikTok, I've been doing men's mental health tips of the day for the month of June because it is Men's Mental Health Month and Men's Health Month. And over the past 2 days, I have gone from like 10 followers to almost 600. So I would like to thank everybody for following me, enabling me to finally get the ability to go live as well. That's pretty cool. I can't wait to kind of do some stuff with that. But yeah, I'm just I'm happy for all the love that I've gotten past few days, and hopefully you find my content to be entertaining or informative or just something to something to look at while you're sitting on the fucking toilet. I don't care, but I just appreciate everybody following me. So that was a big deal for me. I feel like really accomplished. And I know that that's the whole purpose of social media, is to get that dopamine boost of, follows and likes and views and all that stuff. But it's not really why I'm doing it. It's a small piece. Like I said, I greatly appreciate it. Feels really good, but that's not the basis of my being like it can be for some people, sadly. But moving on, we'll do the plug for the unofficial sponsor of the Basic Dude podcast. If you are in need of getting your shit together and could use a little help, if you're overweight, can't lift a gallon of milk, need just like to get in shape, be healthier. I implore you to head over to Kilo Foxtrot Fitness on Facebook, Yelp, or if you are in the Bellbrook area, you can see them in person at the Gem City Holistic Wellness Center. But go over to those social media pages, Instagram and TikTok and all that stuff, and get in contact with my dear friend James Jennings, who I would like to give a personal Happy Father's Day to. That man he is a machine for sure with everything he has to balance in life, and everything he's accomplished since in the time that I've known him has been absolutely admirable and monumental. But the guy kills it as a man, as a father. Just nothing stops him. So with that said, with that passion that he has, he will make sure that you are getting your money's worth, and you are doing everything you need to do to be a better man or a better person. So, if you are in the need for some personal fitness, diet, program or guidance, we'll say guidance. Head over to Kilo Foxtrot Fitness on all the social medias and get in contact with James. He will be more than happy to help you out with that. All right, moving on. Today, like I said, I don't really have a topic. There's just some things I wanted to discuss, but it's kind of fitting for Father's Day as well, because I want to discuss the sacrifices that men in fathers, not daughters, fathers have to make. As some of you know, if you've watched my TikTok videos, I have been given probably one of the biggest opportunities that I may have in my entire life. Now, as you know, a lot of you that listen to the podcast know that I used to live in Florida with my family, and we had to move back to New York for a myriad of reasons. In my head, money, had a family member that needed some help. We had other family members that really encouraged, I'm going to be polite, so I'm going to say encouraged us to come back. And, I have a lot of kids, I have a lot of grandkids, and, family wanted to be, I guess, together. It was very difficult for these individuals to be separated from us, which I guess is a good thing, right? It's nice to be needed. It's nice to be wanted. But with that said, at what point do you have to put up boundaries? At what point do you have to compartmentalize where is it that you get to live your life and not have to live for everybody else's life? There's another very wise man that I listen to. You can find him at the Trinity Church in Scottsdale, Arizona, Pastor Mark Driscoll. And he does a sermon, and it's him and his wife. They do a podcast, and he's a pastor, and like I said, and they do a series on something called Leave and Cleave, which is in the Bible. And if you don't read the Bible or don't, believe in religion or whatever, I guess that's fine and up to you. But it's not so. This isn't so much based on the Bible, but it's based on a principle, a life principle. So Leave and Cleave is basically, what I'll do is I'll break it down. So it's you and your wife, right? We're going to use those. And then you have children, okay? And you and your children are your immediate family. So kind of put that in a circle in a group, right? Think of like a little chart in your head. So it's you, your spouse, and your children. That's your immediate family. Outside of that, you have grandparents, parents, aunts, uncles, cousins, brothers, sisters, nephews, nieces. Those are your extended family. Okay, so they're outside. When your children become adults and they move out of the house and they find their spouse and they have their children and they have their career, they now become your extended family. Okay? Your focus is still need to be on your immediate family. So once your children are all gone and it's just you and your wife, that is now your immediate family, just the two of you. And in the end, that's what you're left with, is just you and your spouse, right? Because your children, you've done your job, you've parented them, you have taught them everything that you possibly could. They have they've moved through their life with growing up and becoming adults on their own and establishing their immediate families, right? You have to do what you have to do for your immediate family. That's where your attention starts, right? So, an example. If you want to have your older children, right, your extended family, over for dinner, you call them up and you say, hey, we would like to have you over for dinner. What time and day works for you, right? Because you're inviting them, so you want to see what time and day works for them, because they are now your extended family. They have their own lives. They have their own stuff going on. Versus, hey, we're having dinner on Sunday at 6:00. We expect you to be there, right? That's not fair, because maybe they have something else going on. Maybe they need to get ready for the week. Maybe there's a lot to do. My Sundays, I get one day off on Sunday, 1 day a week. My wife and I both work 6 days a week, 2 jobs each. My Sunday is usually not spent restful. Be honest, here I am right now. I just put in laundry. I don't know if you can hear it in the background. If you can, I apologize. But I have to get that done. I have to, get my medications done. I got to get, probably pack my lunches. I got to figure out what I'm making dinner for tonight for everybody. I do the dishes, try to pick up the house. If I don't mow the lawn during the week, I got to get the lawn mowed, get the trash taken care of, get things in order. That's my day off. That's my Sunday. So I don't get a break, you know. For instance, today, my parents invited me they bought a new boat, which congratulations to them. They bought a new boat and they invited me to come out for Father's Day and get on the boat. But the problem is I just have too much to do. I've already made plans with my son who couldn't make it to our Father's Day event yesterday. So he's coming over today with his girlfriend, and I promised to make dinner. I have to get laundry done. I have to make sure things are picked up. I have a lot to do, a lot going on that I can't even do anything really today. So yeah, would I like to go sit fish, and fish on the boat on Father's Day? Probably. But unfortunately, just because I have one day off a week, my Father's Day has just turned into my normal Sunday, which I guess is what it is. But I digress. Let me get back on track here and let me get focused. I probably sound like I'm just bitch. This is a bitch fest, or I'm rambling or whatever, but I have a valid point for this. So like I said, I was given a very, very good, probably great, probably one of the best opportunities, job offer, where we want to live, all of this stuff. My wife and I have been in discussion since we have come back here about wanting to return to Florida, that we've realized that, this place just isn't for us. While we love our family and our grandchildren and our children and our, in-laws and parents and sister and brother-in-laws and sisters and brothers and all that stuff, this is not where we're happy. This is not where we want to be. I wholeheartedly believe that if everybody, if anyone else wanted to move somewhere that would make them happy, then they should be entitled to do so. That their family shouldn't be holding them hostage. And listen, this is just my opinion, and this is just how I think, and maybe not everybody agrees. But that's what it feels like. It feels like they're all here holding each other hostage. Now, I have older children, like I said, that are adults. They have their own children, their own homes, their own careers. They have all their own life going on. And since we've been back here, it has been very evident of kind of the leave and cleave idea, right? They're off doing their own thing. We're doing our own thing. We don't really spend as much time together as everybody kind of thought, which is fine. It is what it is, right? I'm not mad. I'm not upset. I'm not anything. I just think that it shows a very valid point. The valid point being that, they're off doing what they're happy doing. However, with this last night, we had our Father's Day event. Wanted to do it on Saturday, so I had today to get stuff done. And, it's just better to do it on a Saturday. People don't have to worry about what time they go home or whatever and all that stuff. It did not go well. We got into the discussion of my new job offer, which I have accepted. I've put in my notices. I have passed the background and drug test. I have signed the offer letter. I have a start date, and I am going. My children, none of them, the two that I have living here that are left, who are teenagers. One is about to start high school. The other one doesn't go to school. But did just start a job, a minimum wage job where my wife and I work at the car wash on the weekends. So it's her first job. She got her learner's permit. There's things happening, but all of this can be transitional very, very easily. Yeah, and it immediately turned into screaming and crying and arguing and people walking away and bringing up like things from 20, 25 years ago, feelings of abandonment, just a lot of stuff. Not a single person from my family, my wife's family, or our children said congratulations, are happy for us, nothing. Is that selfish of them? Or are we being selfish? Or is no one being selfish? I mean, it got to the point where there's threats that we will never see them again. We will never speak to them again. We will never speak to our grandchildren again. But under it all, not to get too deep into my personal life, like I just said, and the threats were not coming from us. Not to get too deep into my personal life, but like I said, my wife and I work 6 days a week, 2 jobs each. This opportunity would finally give my wife something that she's always wanted, to only work part-time when she wants to and live where she wants to be. And I have the opportunity to work as much overtime as I want at a very high dollar amount. Yeah, I don't know. I feel, or I know, that if my children, my adult children, came to me and said, I was just offered a really good opportunity. We're in New York. I was given a really good opportunity in California. I would be collecting boxes to help them pack, because that's what I want. I want my kids I want them to thrive. I want them to always be better. My wife and I, when we first got together, we made $1,600 a month. We were on food stamps. Christmas came from the church. And now, 20 years later, through hard work, through sacrifices, through everything, college and working 2 or 3 jobs each, we're at a place where we finally made it. We finally made it. I'm going to, just to give you an idea, and this is something that professionals say. It doesn't pay to stick with a company. It pays to work for a company for 3 or 4 years and then find a new company, because that's how you get the biggest raise, the better benefits, all that stuff. That's what I did. I mean, not to be exact, but just by making this move, I'm getting around a $10 an hour raise. That's a lot of money an hour. You're talking an extra $400+ a week in my paycheck. I don't make that working for a month at the car wash, so don't need that job anymore, right? Don't need a second job anymore. That takes care of that. So what the plan is basically I'm going down in a couple weeks down to Florida. I am packing my stuff and I'm going by myself, and I will be down there for the next 4 months, 5 months, 6 months, maybe 4 years. I don't know. I'm willing to do, I'm not going to say anything or everything everybody else wants us to do or wants me to do. I'm not totally willing to do that. And it may sound selfish, but at the end of the day, I am the man. I am the breadwinner. I am the one, sadly, not to throw shade at my wife. I'm not talking bad about her at all. I am the one with a career. My wife doesn't have a career. She's always just worked jobs, mostly retail stuff. It's, especially with all of the problems that we have had coming back to New York with family members and situations, and just a very bad, toxic environment to live in. Very manipulative people. I love them all. I really do. But my God, they really know how they thrive on drama. They live to manipulate other people into doing what they want them to do. And it's just not a good place to be. To the point where they're manipulating my teenage children into going against us. and making some pretty serious threats. Um, they have these ideas in their head that, you know, a 13 and 16-year-old are adults and can speak, can live where they want to live, and that's not true. Um, so I'm gonna go down, and I'm gonna be by myself, and I'm gonna leave my family here, and I'm gonna do what many other cultures do, and I'm sure many other fathers do here or parents do here. I'm gonna go and work and live by myself and send the money home, and probably live very modestly, we'll say, so that way I can for the betterment of my family, for the betterment of my immediate family. And once we know that this job is going to work out and everything's good and successful, and we find a place that we want to live, which is important. But once we find a place that we want to live, and I learn the area, because we're moving to a different part of Florida than we were before, I will come back up here, and I will take a week off, and I will pack boxes, and I will put everything into a moving truck, and I will move it into our new home. And some people are not going to be happy with us, and I'm sorry for them. I'm sorry that they put their needs over our needs. We have parents who don't want us to go, and we have older children that don't want us to go. So it feels like we just can't live our life. Like we have to sit here and live our life for everybody else. That we can't take opportunities, or we can't do what we want because everybody else wants us to do what they want us to do. We have done that for a long time. That's kind of how we ended up back here. We listened to everybody to come back here, and we're not happy here. And we found a way out. It would be detrimental to pass this opportunity up. And there's been many opportunities I've passed up in the past that probably would put us in a different place. And I'm not saying that we're here in New York, that we're financially struggling or anything like that, or we just don't like to live here. Me personally, I don't like the laws. I don't like the politics here. I don't like all the issues that I've had back here. I don't like, the saying that distance makes the heart grow fonder. Yeah, well, that's for sure. I think that the 4 years we lived in Florida before, I spent way better quality time with our family than we do here. Here is just drama and arguments and what everybody else needs from everybody else. It's insane. So yeah, I'm going to make this sacrifice. So I'm willing to sacrifice being at home every night with my family and being, I'm dependent on quite a bit. And I realize that. But this is just, I don't want to be by myself. I haven't lived by myself in, God, ever. I haven't been more than 2 weeks away from my wife ever in our 20-year relationship. I mean, I've been away from my kids for, we used to send them back to New York for the summer when we were in Florida. So I've been away from my kids for like 2 months, and it sucks. I don't like it. I've also never been by myself for that long. Now I'll probably fly home once a month and, for the weekend or whatever, which is also going to be like, all of this is it's huge. There's a lot of work to do. There's a lot of hard things to do. Packing all my stuff up and everything that I'm going to need into a rental car and driving it one way. I don't even know, because it's a holiday weekend I'm leaving, I have to see if I can fit all my tools and everything I'm going to bring into a Toyota RAV4. I have no idea how this is going to work, but I'm going to make it work. It's not going to be easy. It's going to suck. Today, I got to spend my day filling out onboarding paperwork. I have to get a list together of all the stuff that I need to bring with me and pack. Um, there's also, the stuff that I used to do here, mowing the lawn and taking the trash out and making sure the animals are taken care of. That's all stuff that's going to have to be done by somebody else while I'm gone. And then once I get down there, I'm going to be alone and have no vehicle. Um, I'm going to have my service truck, and hopefully the company's nice enough to let me use that to go grocery shopping. But there's not going to be. I'm not going to be able to wake up on Saturday morning and say, hey, you know what? I think I'm going to head up to Disney Springs for the day and wander around. I'm going to be basically stuck at my hotel that I'll be living in for 4 months. So yeah, there's a lot of suck involved in it, but it's worth it. The opportunity is worth it. Like, nothing worth doing is easy. You know, it's gonna be tough, but again, I'm willing to sacrifice my need for my family, I guess, my wife, my kids. I'm willing to sacrifice not, I'm willing to sacrifice being alone. I'm willing to sacrifice, the doing the tough things, having to get flights and Uber to the airport, all that stuff, and scheduling, and then take on a new job, new people to work with, new company policies, new area, new everything. It's like somebody just picked me up and dropped me into a totally different environment. But I do this because of, or for my family, because this is what my wife wants, because my children, again, they're somewhat flexible, right? They will, like I said, my youngest daughter, she's starting high school this year. So in 4 years, she may end up packing her stuff and saying, I'm moving to, I don't know, Canada. Okay, cool. Who you staying with? What you doing? Um, I don't know. My kids are going to turn into adults and they're going to leave. And this opportunity is here now, so it needs to be taken, because if I pass this up, more than likely it probably won't be there again. And and it's definitely happening faster than we wanted to. I mean, all of this developed in a week. But the hotel's paid for, the rental car's paid for, the notices are in, uh, things have been signed, and yeah. So I wish this was a happier episode. I guess I feel pretty like down because, like I said, not a single person is happy for us, congratulated us, nothing. And it really sucks. But this is, and this is the burden. This is the burden that men carry. Or at least my purpose is to make sure that I make enough money to take care of my family. And if I have to go work in Afghanistan to do that, I will. If I have to go into the deepest, darkest parts of the jungle in Africa and not see the light of day or civilization for 7 months, that's what I'm willing to do. And sadly, it's turned my younger kids into spoiled brats, which is definitely a parenting issue, not necessarily a money issue. But like I said, we came from $1,600 a month food stamps and get Christmas from the church to the newest iPhones and the Nike Dunks and the fucking, I don't know, whatever the fuck else they want. And I think there's some jealousy with my stepkids and my kids, because we weren't in a position when I got together with their mother to give them everything that my kids have now. I mean, I was 19 years old. I was sitting on a bar stool fucking 6 days a week. So I think there's a little bit of jealousy there, but I mean, I finally, and a big part of me, a big guilt that I have is growing up, or my older kids growing up, that they always needed help. My oldest daughter went to college. Well, I need help with books. Well, I didn't have money to help her with books. now as they have children, my other daughter, stepdaughter, she's not career oriented. She's kind of, I guess, still finding her way in life, but she just had kind of a traumatic event happen to her and is having a tough time financially. And me, I'm not an emotional person. So the way that I help or the way that I show love or compassion is with dollars, right? So, hey, can I borrow? She's asking to borrow money, and we're not in a position right now to let her borrow money, or make sure it's. So there you have it. Like, this is going to give me the opportunity to help my stepchildren as well, and I know they don't see that, but that's like a very prideful thing for me that I finally will have enough money. Right? They say money. Money isn't everything. Well, I'd like to see you live without it, right? Try doing life without money and see how far you get. It's definitely a key factor. It makes things possible. I guess it's a tool to make life happen. So I will I'll finally be able to financially help my stepkids with their car breaks down or they need money for groceries or got to pay the light bill or anything like that. Here you go, take it. I don't think we've really ever had a surplus of money like this. So it makes me feel really good that for once I might be able to do that. My youngest stepson, his girlfriend was raised by her grandfather, and her grandfather is a fucking millionaire. He buys trailers and like new modular homes, I guess we'll call them, or manufactured homes, and does all the site work and puts them on his property and pays for his grandchildren and children's homes, cars, car insurance, utility bills, taxes, everything. They basically just have to exist. And he just went out because my son's girlfriend doesn't want to live on the property. She wants to take care of herself, which is admirable. I mean, and she's only 19 years old. I mean, it's good to hear. He bought her a nice, very nice Audi SUV. I couldn't even help my son make his car payment on his Ford Fusion. That really hit me. That's what I want to do. That's what I aspire to do is have no limit to help my children, to help my grandchildren, to have no the to never say no, right? And I know it sounds bad, right? Like people gotta learn to do for themselves, and everything shouldn't be handed to somebody, and they don't appreciate it as much, and I understand that. But if my kids or grandkids are ever in a bad bind, I mean, obviously, I would never, I'd never let them go hungry or homeless, right? I'd do everything in my power that I could, including as much as I don't want to, moving them into our house. But yeah, my wife and I struggled in life, and we had help from family members, and I can't reciprocate that. I can't pass that down right now. I never have been able to. But now I can. Now I've just been handed an opportunity to be able to do that. And as angry as people are with us, and as much as they hate it and dislike it and want to make threats and everything else, that's the reality of things. I'm taking a better job for us, not for me, for us, for everybody. And I'm willing to be the bad guy. I'm willing to be the one that everybody hates. That's okay with me, because at the end of the day, I know that this is the right thing to do, because that is going to get us further. This is going to get us further in life. It's going to get us, my wife and I, to where we want to be, and it's going to aid in the success of all of my children, regardless if we're separated by 2,400 miles or not. It's going to aid in their success for sure. And that's there you have it. Sometimes the dads, the men, were the punching bags, were the ones to blame, especially step parents. By the way, huge shout out to all the stepdads today on Father's Day. Happy Father's Day. We truly, being a step parent is truly a thankless job. Very rarely, well, I should say when children get older and become adults, they realize and they see everything. But it's many, many years of, you're not my dad. I don't have to listen to you. I'm moving in with my dad. I don't have to follow your rules. I hate you. Everything's your fault, because we're the easy target, right? Because we're the third party. So, it is what it is. But yeah, step parents, thankless job for sure. Well, up until they become adults. But man, it feels like an eternity to when that happens. So anyway, this is where I leave you. I wish I had better episode, a better content, happier circumstances. But I'll leave you with this. I'm ready. I'm in fucking warrior mode right now. I have absolute tunnel vision on everything that I need to do, and I am totally fucking ready and organized to do it. And there is not going to be anything stopping me. I am going to be the tractor trailer where the brakes just went out, going down, because I know that this is the right move. I know, I can feel it. This is, whether you believe in God or you believe in the universe or you believe in anything, all of this stuff in this past week happened for a reason. This job offer, I mean, I was just standing there minding my own business and my phone rang from someone that I used to work with. And I answer the phone. He goes, "Hey," he goes, you need to look into this job. So I did. I looked into the job, and it started with a Facebook message to someone who works for this company. And next thing I know, a recruiter is calling my phone. I talked to that recruiter for 40 minutes. Next thing I know, I'm getting an email to do a job interview on a Tuesday. So I get the phone call from the recruiter on a Thursday. I have a job interview on a Tuesday. And by Thursday, I have the offer letter in my inbox. Everything I asked for, the dollar. I mean, I'm going to be honest with you. I didn't invest much in this because we weren't really ready to make this move. I gave some bullshit fucking number that for hourly pay that I didn't think was possibly going to even be reached. I thought for sure they were going to lowball me. And the number I threw out there was high on purpose because usually they do lowball you. Now I did get the lower end of what I wanted, but they actually gave me more than I wanted. Do you know if that makes sense? So they came up $1 more from the lowest I wanted, but even that low was like a bullshit number. It was like a hole in one. You just, not that I'm big into golf, but or a home run, I guess. I just blasted the ball with everything that I wanted, and it came true. It happened. I'm needed in the area that we had kind of been looking at to move to at some point anyway. Now it's a different part of Florida, but it just so happens that that's where they need me, and they need me immediately. The benefits are how can I deny this? How can I pass this up? It's all too perfect. Almost to the point where my pessimism is telling me, oh no, I like the hair standing up on the back of my neck. This is way too good to be true. Something's about there is some fuckery abound. Something is about to happen bad. And it hasn't so far. Like it's everything. It's one thing to the next, to the next, and everything is every place that I thought. I mean, I was just hired by a guy. I was in an interview, and I was just hired by a guy who hired me at a different company when I first moved to Florida. And I only lasted 10 weeks at that company before they fired me. As soon as I saw him in this Teams interview, I'm like, this job ain't happening. I guess I don't have to worry about this. I they loved me. It blew me away. I couldn't believe it. I almost drove off the road. But this is where we're at. This is what I mean. It's just it all works out way too well to pass up. So yeah, I see this and I'm excited and I'm like the adrenaline is rushing. I'm on fucking you heard of cloud 9? I'm on cloud 10 right now. And I'm just ready. I'm ready to go make this money. I'm ready to work for this company. I'm ready to further my career. And it just so happens that the company I'm going to work for, two friends of mine who I worked with in Florida also are working for that company. And we're all starting on the same day. And we're all going to be in training together. How does that work? How does this work out? There are just too many things that are coincidences that are happening for me to say no. Too many positives. There's way too many positives to this to say no. And I'm doing it. I'm ready to go. So thanks for listening today. Happy Father's Day once again. Sorry I ran really late and this is probably going to be a fucked up episode, but I would like to thank you for listening to me kind of dump my brain and my heart onto a MP3 file that you are now listening to, and I'm posting on the internet for everybody to hear probably forever. So thanks for listening. Happy Father's Day. Please like, follow, subscribe, share, all that stuff. You know what to do. Check out the TikTok, Instagram, I don't know what else. Oh, the YouTube. Yeah, check out the YouTube. Excuse me. And have a great rest of your week. Thanks for listening. And be the fucking man you are meant to be.